Is that what you guys say these days? Super good. I'm trying to catch on. But anyways, it's what? Super. No, I can't do that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have some people help me tell the story. And so I'm gonna like be talking and they're gonna help me, alright? That sound good? Alright. So once upon a time, a long time ago. Now I need to tell you something about this story actually first. This is a true story. And this is a story. Do you remember that man Jesus that I talked about yesterday? Remember? He's my favorite guy ever, like for real. And he told me this story. And this story really changed my life actually. And I think if you listen closely, I think it's gonna change your lives too. But alright. So once upon a time, there was a man. Let's have a man come out. Oh, we have a man. And this man had curly brown hair. He wore a kind of short rope thing. And this man had a son. He had a son. And oh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This dad and this son, they didn't actually get along that well. The dad was super kind to the son, and he would tell him nice things. He'd give him compliments. He'd tell him nice things. He'd say, "Son, I love you." He'd say, "Son, I love you."
I love you, son.
And they would hug. But the son just didn't really like it. Can't you tell? It was just kind of, ugh. And you know, the cool thing about this family, this dad was really rich and he had a lot of stuff. And the dad told the son that he said, "You know what? One day, when I get old and gray, kind of like me, you know, I'm gonna let you have my stuff. But you have to wait till I'm old and gray and whatnot." But you know what the younger son said? He said, "I don't want to wait till you're old and gray. That's dumb." That's what he said.
I don't want to wait till you're old and gray for my inheritance. I want it now. Give me my money now.
I just don't think that's a wise choice, son. You're only 15 years old.
I don't care what you think. I want my money right now.
I don't think it's a good idea.
And the dad he was a wise dad, and do you think it's a good idea for a 15-year-old to have lots and lots of money? I thought you might say that, because some of you are probably about 15, right? Yeah. Well, that's what this dad was. He was a good dad. And he didn't really want his son to have all this stuff, because he was afraid he might just waste the money or do something dumb with it. But the son just kept asking over and over again.
I want my money.
Just again. And again.
I think it's a good idea.
And again. He would just ask for the money again.
I want my money. Right.
He would ask again.
I'm sorry, I just don't think you should.
And again.
I can do my own things.
And you know, finally the dad said, "You know what? If that's what it takes to make you happy, have the money. It's really disappointing to me, but just do it."
Fine. Here you go.
And that son was super pumped when he got the money. He was super pumped when he got the money.
Whoa! Yeah, got the money.
And he ran off. What's a 15-year-old with a man bun gonna do with a bunch of money? I don't know. But this man, he went traveling to a far country, and there were some sketchy people in this far country. And they just did whatever they wanted to do. And they would just have a party. They just partied and partied and partied and partied.
What's your name?
And this young son,
Name's Prod.
Rod? Hey, what's up, Rod?
he came.
You want some? What's up?
Man, does that look like a good situation? Ooh, that's super sketchy. But you know what? You know what? These sketchy people, they actually took some of this guy's money when he wasn't looking.
You got some more money? I can get some over here.
And he wasn't watching, and they gave him stuff to drink, and he got all loopy, and he was kind of having a really good time, though, right? That looks like kind of fun, right? Then one time, he drank a little bit too much. And you know what? Those sketchy people, they pretty much just took the good stuff he had and walked off. And then there's this son here. Man, he woke up without a man bun, and then he regained his composure. And he woke up and he thought, man, that was kind of fun. All these people, that was kind of fun. And then he felt his pocket. And he said, oops. He said, oops. Oops. And he checked his pocket. He checked his other pocket. He checked him again. He checked his shoes. He checked his man bun. And he was broke. Completely broke. Man. Pause. Let's think a little bit about what happened. So we have this guy here, and he's living with his dad. He's having a good time. Sorry, I don't like when hair gets in my eyes. He's having a good time, and his dad finally lets him have his money, and then he goes, and he has a really good time with these people, right? But man, look at him now. Wow. That is a good sculpture. Anyway, continue. Resume, alive. And he realized all of a sudden that he doesn't have any money anymore. He says, oops, oops. And you know what? He said, man, where am I going to stay tonight? And he said, man, where am I going to stay tonight?
Man, where am I gonna stay tonight?
And he said, I guess I'll just have to sleep on the ground.
Guess I'll just have to sleep on the ground.
And he said, man,
Man,
what am I going to eat tonight?
what am I gonna eat tonight?
So I guess I'll just go without.
Guess I'll just go without.
And then he went to sleep. And then he got up in the morning. And he was super excited, and he said, today's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna do good things today. It's gonna be a good day.
I'm gonna do good things today. It's gonna be a good day.
And then he checked his pockets. And then he checked his shoes. And then he checked his man bun. And he remembered what he did yesterday, and he was broke. You know what he said? Oh, he said, bummer.
Bummer.
And you know what? That day, he was walking along. He was walking along. And he saw this farmer there feeding pigs. The farmer was here feeding pigs. And he said, hey, farmer,
Hey, farmer,
can I work for you?
can I work for you?
And the farmer said, well, I don't know. I don't got a whole lot for you to do, but I mean, maybe you could. Okay, fine. The farmer said, fine, you can feed my pigs for me. So he said, well, I don't have any money and I don't have any food, so I guess I better feed some pigs. So he started feeding the pigs. But man, this guy didn't have supper the night before. This guy didn't have breakfast the night before. He started really looking at that food.
Really looking at that food.
And he kind of picked some up.
No, please don't say
And he was, oh man,
don't please don't.
and he ate it. And then he spit it back out. Man, how do you feel for this guy? Do you think he's doing good, or kind of okay, or bad? What do you think? He's doing really bad. But remember how he was with his dad? He had a good life, right? His dad gave him everything he needed. So this guy got to thinking, he said, man, I remember when I was back with my dad. My dad had a bunch of servants and people that worked for him. This guy said, you know what?
You know what?
The people that worked for my dad, they didn't have to eat pig food.
My dad's servants didn't have to eat pig food.
He said, man, if I go back to my dad,
If I go back to my dad,
man, I wonder if I could work for my dad.
I wonder if I could work for my dad.
But then he remembered that, shoot, my dad didn't want me to leave. So he started scratching his head. He said, what am I going to do? Do you think my dad will still love me?
think my dad will still love me?
He said, "No, I can't go back. I can't go back." And then he kept walking, but he got so hungry, he just collapsed. Then you know what? He really got to thinking, you know what? I'm going to die out here. And so even if I go back to my dad and he rejects me and he hates me, that's better than just dying out here. So he got up. He said, I'm going to go find my way back home. So he went on a long journey, find his way back home. But you know what? I need your attention up here. And now I need your attention at that tent. And then at that tent. And then to the curly-haired brown guy. You know what? The dad was still at home this whole time. You know what the dad was thinking? The dad was thinking,
Oh my gosh.
man, I miss my son. I want my son back. And every day the dad would just pace back and forth on the front porch saying, man, wish my son would come back. And every day he'd look out to the road, put his hand up to his eyes. He'd look out. He'd say, man, I wish my son would come back. So you know what? He loved his son. He missed his son. Sometimes he would even just fall down and cry because he missed his son. He would just weep. And his dad, oh man. And one day his dad got up and he was pacing the porch saying, oh, I miss my son. Wish my son would come back. You know what? This dad, he went, and one day, he looked out towards the road.
Come.
I don't deserve to be your son.
It's okay. I forgive you. It's okay. I'm just so glad you're home.
I work for pay.
No, I won't have it. You must just come live in my house. Come on, we'll have a feast. Let's go. Come on. So glad you're home.
You know what? You might look at it and say, well, that's a great story, but what's so great about that story? Why would that story change my life? It's not that great story. It's just some pigs and some people and some food. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what. Growing up, you know that prayer station back there? That Danny person? She had that stick that was all withered and dried up. That's how I was growing up. That's how we are without God. You know that? You know that? You know? When we sin, we're like that withered up stick. And we think about it and it's like, oh man, I'm just a withered stick and that's kind of a pain for me. And it's a bummer for me, but you know what? It's a bummer for God. Because remember, I talked about last night how God created you, right? Remember? He formed Adam out of the ground. And why did he make people? For a relationship. And the thing is, if you're this dried up stick, God can't have that with you. And you know what? This story is a picture of that. And that father that's back there just pacing, that's what God is doing for each of you. And guys, I care about this because that's what God's doing for you right now. He's up there. He's pacing back and forth saying, I want a relationship with you. Because you know what? Each of you, when you sinned and when you turned away from God, you were just like that prodigal son. And you said, I don't care about you, God. I'm going to go run and do my own thing. But you know what? God's like that father. And God, when you come to God, he's not going to say, you're not good enough for me. You took all my stuff and I don't want you back. No, that's not God at all. God is love, and God loves you. And I'm going to talk about that more these other nights. I'm going to build on that. You guys have to know that, and you guys have to remember that. And I want you to think of that. When you think of God, I don't know if you're a Christian, if you love Jesus. I don't know if this is your first time hearing about Jesus. But when you think about Jesus, and you think about your life, what I want you to think about is that God is up there in heaven, like that Father. He's just pacing back and forth because he so badly wants to have a relationship with you, and he wants you to be plugged in and to be like that tree. You guys remember that for me? If you guys remember that for me, then maybe I can tell you another story tomorrow night. How's that sound? All right. Until then, I'll do my best to get Junior trained in, and maybe I won't bust my hand open tomorrow when I come walking in, and we'll see what we can do. All right? Sound good? Yeah. All right. I'll see you tomorrow night. Woo!